Hi everybody, this is Johnny Seville, and this is your executive summary for the 6th of April for our stock selections for tomorrow's day of trading, of Tuesday's markets. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the ever-important open range. Now, we set an open range on the first day of trading here on Wednesday, April 1st, of a low of 20.48 and a high of 20.67.63. And our high was 20.72.17. The close at 20.66.96, which was, of course, on Thursday, which was just ever so slightly within that range, because we got the high of the previous candle at 20.67. The close on Thursday was 20.66. So, of course, today was the important day to see whether we actually were able to close higher or lower than that range. And indeed, we did close significantly higher than that range, and closing at 20.80.62 today. So, by open range rules, that means that we should continue having bullish market conditions for the next couple of weeks until the option expiration Friday. Of course, we saw some great performance on some of the stocks, of course, that we're currently holding. CHK, one of our stocks that we picked a little while back, had a great day today. Was up 3.84% on some healthy volume over the last 2 days. 32 million shares yesterday, well, on Thursday, 20.8 million today, and we of course hope to see that continue with a lot of strength across the energy sector in general. In terms of the stocks that are new for our watch list tonight, however, GMCR is the first one, or Green Mountain Keurig Coffee. Looking at the chart here, you can see that we've got a nice higher low on GMCR, expanding range candles, and if we can break this 9-day moving average, there could be a decent rally potential, with this being a potential bump and run or type of formation. So we have a look at the potential for that is that over a maybe about a 2-week type of hold, that we are looking at that kind of that downtrend line here at the top of the channel as our first target. So if we break through the 9-day moving average, we're looking at somewhere around 116 to a rally up to around that 122 area. So it could be a very decent options play, and the potential for that is that after running into that 120 downtrend line, a bump and run formation suggests a pullback, and then a further rally, which could take us up to those previous highs of around 130. So that's how I'd be looking to play it. We'd be looking at that first $6 of potential profit there. But we're looking at a 5% move on the stock. Obviously, much more potentially profitable if you're looking at the options, with a longer term outlook of getting possibly back up to this 130 high that we see here on GMCR. CRK is another one. Now, this one had a beautiful setup. I've been watching this one for a while, and it was squeezing and broke out today. So you can see this beautiful fallen angel type of formation, much similar to what I was looking at before on GMCR. If we go to the logarithmic chart, you'll be able to see that a little bit better just because of the scale of the price range. You can see that there's that downtrend channel. There's the breakout, and there's the bump, pullback, and then the run today with a 17% rally. So there's big potential for this one. Of course, the difficulty is not chasing the trade. So looking at where the 9-day moving average is at 377, that would be where I would be seeing the support zone, or the core support, with the more intermediate or immediate support being at 386. So if we look at the hourly chart, we can also see that a little more closely up. So you can see that that break of that trend line here, and you've got the moving averages also supporting it here on the short term, here at 404. And down here at 376. So I'd like to see obviously I would like to see a bit of a pullback on this one to kind of into this support level. It could get all the way down to 380, where that 9-day moving average is. But looking basically around that 393 as an entry criteria, and looking for a rally up to at least 461 as the first target, which of course would be a very healthy move. And the potential, of course, is that it could actually go a lot further than that if it's able to to get back to some of its recent highs. You can see here that, bringing up the chart, the tip of this candle, the high of this candle, which if we just look across, is about $7. So I mean, there's on a stock like this that's got healthy volume. If we look at even down here at this level, we're looking at around 507 is where that support comes in, right there at the bottom of that candle. If we look at the absolute low, still looking at 473. So there's a lot of potential in that if it continues to break and momentum sticks with it, that 461 first target could easily break, and we can reevaluate that as it goes up. This other moving average coming down also coincides with it, right around $6. So again, that's kind of some of the areas that I'd be looking for as secondary targets, but a little harder to call until we see how much momentum comes in. But certainly, I would be looking at that as a first target. And the third one on the long list is REXX. Also a nice looking chart. We can go to the hourly candle. Hourly chart here to get a better look at this stock. But you can see this the stock has been rallying up. The money flow in all of these is actually quite positive. This one is you can see has been able to maintain its breakout here. You can see the breakout back here when we first picked REXX back at $3, rallied back up. It was a beautiful swing trade pick. You can see that pulled back then, and so we've got a longer term kind of cup and handle where we may just be peaking up through now on 4.6 million shares today over the previous day of 4.4 million. So on REXX, similar to the other plays, we're looking for a pullback to support. The 9-day moving average is holding it up around 398. So I was looking for a pullback to 407. And in terms of targets, looking at 443 is the first target, being right around where we've had resistance today and off this previous candle. So we can get a pullback down to this level, a rally back up. Looking at 443 as the first target and 475 as a possible second target. Now, in terms of the shorts, a quick update on one of the ones that is looking quite good, despite the strength in the market over the last 2 days. One of the companies we picked as a head and shoulders in one of the previous executive summaries has acted really well. You can see that it's held beneath its head and shoulder pattern and now looks like into its healthy breakdown territory. So INFY is obviously certainly something to be keeping your eye on, and looking at that drop all the way down to the 3250 range. So I expect that should perform as expected, and we just want to move our breakout point over a little bit, so it's just a little bit higher than 3250, where that breakout line tells us. But for one new one for the list tonight is WPZ, Williams Partners. So this one has got a couple different things going on with it, but obviously, again, despite the strength in the market, this one appears to be breaking down. Appears to be breaking down. So let's just draw our trend line incorrectly. We've got that possibility here. Okay, and then we've also got a possibility here, in terms of looking at those two trends. So we can have a look at what was the significance of the volume today. 1.78 million over previous days 1.17 million. So we did have a substantial break as we went through this potential trend line, which suggests that could be that's the correct place we want to be looking for it at. We want to be aware of possible other patterns. So we can look here. Where we see the top crossing through support of this zone, which then also becomes resistance back here. So as you may be able to see, I'm looking for the potential there of that head and shoulder pattern, and you can see that we've got that occurring also right around here. So what would be an ideal potential entry point? We've got a potential entry point here around where we're currently at is the early entry. For those of you who are kind of more should I say, like extreme traders. But the so look, obviously the resistance that we're seeing on the head and shoulders has already been printed up around $50. So there's always, we're in the zone now between the support of this area and the resistance here. So is it still something I'd consider entering if we respect this resistance trend line that we saw today? Yes. The high of the candlestick at 48.57 is still valid as resistance, and but the confirmation trade would be waiting for the breakdown here below this price of 46.12. Okay, so that would be the confirmation, where we're waiting for the breakdown first, would be through that 46.12 area, and then we could get a nice drop here. We can measure that out. Okay, we can get a nice drop down to this area here, which is where we started to see the breakout originally occur when it first moved from 41 up to 50. So we could get a nice $4 drop, or 10% drop here, and a little bit more if we're able to get a better entry zone within the pattern tomorrow. But the key thing to be watching for there is, if you're more of a active trader looking for that better entry point, is to be watching the hourly chart and to be looking for this resistance here to hold down. So obviously a break of this low of 47.50 could be a possible entry, or a rally back up here into resistance at 48.61. Okay, so just depending on how active you are, then that just gives you a couple of different ways to play that. Okay, so that's it for tonight. It should be a very active month of trading as far as it looks so far. So we'll be looking forward to reviewing these in full in our trading room tomorrow night. Otherwise, have a wonderful day and happy trading. Take care.